After a 7-year-long wait, all 4 convicts in the Nirbhaya rape and murder case will be hanged on January 22nd. The Delhi's Patiala House Court issued the death warrant after hearing the plea of Nirbhaya's parents. The hanging will take place at 7 a.m. on January 22nd. Nirbhaya's parents said the wait for justice is over. The convicts broke down when the verdict was announced. The convicts, however, can still get their hanging stayed as they have decided to file the curative plea. The convicts also have the option of filing mercy plea. The preparations at Delhi's Tihar jail have been completed for the execution. 4 gallows have been prepared for the hanging of Nirbhaya's convicts. A JCB machine of PWD department recently carried out the tunnel work, which is mandatory to take out the bodies of the hanged prisoners. The ropes for the hanging were already prepared last December in Buxar jail. The court verdict, meanwhile, has been hailed widely.
कोर्ट को न्याय व्यवस्था को सबको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देना चाहती हूँ। देर से ही सही आज फाइनली उनका डेथ वारंट जारी हो गया। 22 तारीख को उनको फांसी हो जाएगी और पूरे देश के बच्चों को इंसाफ मिलेगा, क्योंकि ये लड़ाई सिर्फ हमारी नहीं थी, निर्भया की नहीं थी, ये पूरे देश की लड़ाई।
लंबा समय लगा है, लंबा समय रहेगा। आपने संघर्ष किया पर देश ने भी किया साथ में। आज जो मैसेज जाता है वो क्या मैसेज आता है सरकार से? आप बोलना चाहेंगे फास्ट ट्रैकिंग के बारे में?
हाँ, बिल्कुल बोल देंगे कि जो भी हमारा कानून है एक समय बाउंड के तरह, कम से कम जो बलात्कार के मर्डर के केस है उसमें एक समय बाउंड के तहत फैसला हो, उनको सजा।
अभी आप कहीं मंदिर जाएंगे, अभी आप कहीं शुक्रिया भगवान का करना चाहेंगे, कुछ ऐसा क्या करना चाहेंगे?
मैंने सबसे पहले शुक्रिया अपने बेटी को करूंगी, क्योंकि उसको 7 साल इंतजार करना पड़ा। मैं अपने बेटी को शुक्रिया अदा करूंगी, उसके आगे माथा टेकूंगी कि उसको इंसाफ मिले।
कोर्ट के फैसले से मैं बहुत खुश हूँ, और खुश इसलिए ही नहीं हूँ कि हमारे निर्भया को न्याय मिल गया, बल्कि खुश इसलिए हूँ कि इनके वकीलों की इतने जाहिल दलील देने के बावजूद भी कोर्ट ने आज हमको न्याय दे दिया।
Let's listen in to the lawyers from both sides.
कोर्ट ने कहा कि आप जाइए, यू आर फ्री, जेल अथॉरिटीज से आप रिक्वेस्ट कीजिए, आप डॉक्यूमेंट लीजिए, और कोर्ट ने बाकी सारी एप्लीकेशंस खारिज करते हुए आज फाइनली 22 जनवरी को सुबह 7 बजे एग्जीक्यूशन का डेट और टाइम फिक्स किया।
जैसे ही डॉक्यूमेंट जेल से कोर्ट ने आदेश किया है जेल अथॉरिटी को, जेल अथॉरिटी डॉक्यूमेंट सप्लाई करेगा मुझे, उसके बाद डॉक्यूमेंट मिलते ही हम सिक्योरिटी पिटीशन और इसकी एप्लीकेशन सुप्रीम कोर्ट में फाइल कर देंगे, और उसको लगते डिसीजन होने के बाद अगर उसमें रिलीफ तो ठीक, नहीं तो उसके बाद मर्जी।
All right, let's listen in to the hangman who in all probability will be called upon for the execution, Pawan Jallad.
मैं तो मुझे बड़ी खुशी होगी, और साहब बिल्कुल ये 7 साल से पहले ही आ जाना थे रिजल्ट में, तो बिल्कुल तैयार रेडी हूँ सर इनको फांसी देने के लिए। मेरे 130 करोड़ भारतवासियों को सुकून मिलेगा। एक माता पिता की उन्हें हैसियत होने के खातिर जो निर्भया जैसे उन्होंने किया है, बहुत गलत किया, बड़ा घिनौनी हरकत करी, इनको तो फांसी होनी ही चाहिए।
Now let's listen in to the Union Minister for Women and Child Development, Smriti Irani, who earlier spoke to my colleague Shiv on Nirbhaya's verdict.
This is a case that enraged a nation 7 years ago. This is a case where politicians, irrespective of their ideological views, came together and ensured that in Parliament laws were made stronger, procedures were made stricter, protocols were given to administrations and judicial bodies across the country. And today, when I see the headlines depict Nirbhaya's mother's struggle and the judicial order, I have to first say, I understand the partial relief she has got, the partial closure that she has got. Because losing a child, you can never have complete closure. But I also recognize that justice, though delayed for her and her family, has not been denied. She has struggled. Her husband sat there in court with her when they heard their daughter's character being assassinated. That was one of the lowest lows in the case here. You can't deny her struggle. You can't deny that she had to weep. You can't deny that those who raped her daughter stood there and took advantage of every loophole they could think of, laughed at times in the face of the family. You can't deny it. So today I say let them be hanged. I think with each passage of year and time, laws become stricter, stronger, procedures and are bettered. But I will only say this, that these kind of crimes and these kind of criminals truly test your democratic values. Would you be as beastly as them and say hang them without proper judicial processes? You don't. We are a country which gave a fair trial to even a deadly terrorist like Kasab. And that is our true test as democratic people. They will test us. We don't become as beastly as them, but we make damn sure that justice is delivered to such people. So like I said, if you rape a woman, brutally so, if you insert a rod into her and you kill her, then you better hang.
I want to connect to my colleague Anisha, who's joining us right now. Anisha, give our viewers some clarity. There is a date that has been set. A black warrant, which is a death warrant, has been issued by the Delhi High Court. The question I want to ask you is that some of, I believe at least 2 of the 4 still haven't exhausted all legal options. What does that mean when already the date of hanging has been fixed?
Well, let me just clarify there, not 2 of them, but all 4 of them still have the option of filing a curative petition and then also moving a mercy petition before the President of India, saying that their death penalty should be commuted to a life imprisonment instead. Both these options are still available to all 4 of the convicts, and which is what we've been informed by both the lawyers for the convicts that these curative petitions will most certainly be filed in the coming few days. Now, what we need to remember is that the legal process in our country is focused on a reformative process, which basically means that we give an accused as many chances as possible to sort of reform himself and then not get the death penalty. Death penalty, remember, is very, very rare in our country. But in this case, we've seen the Supreme Court pass an order while dismissing Akshay's review petition that any further steps should be taken within the statutory period of time, which is that 7 days and then 14 days that has been given by the trial court before the execution sentence is going to take place. So in the next 2 weeks, we'll see what the next step is going to be. If the curative petition is filed, of course, then there will be a different date of hanging, because the Supreme Court will then have to stay this particular death warrant and hear the curative petition, after which the matter will go before the President, possibly if a mercy petition is filed. Back to you.
All right. In terms of time frame, what happens from here on, Anisha? Because if all 4 of them go for curative petition, then of course follow it through with the mercy petition. Do we, how do we know that all of these legal formalities would be complete for the execution of the black warrant?
Well, as I just said, there is a chance that this 22nd January date will not be the actual date of execution. If they go to the Supreme Court with a curative petition, if there is a stay on this death warrant, then they will have to, the government, the police will have to once again ask for another date of an execution warrant, which will have to be passed by the trial court itself. But these 2 processes are still remaining. So there is a chance that in the next 14 days, we will see these convicts moving the Supreme Court and then possibly the President's office, in which case the date of execution, which is the date of the death penalty, will likely change if these petitions are filed. But at this moment, we need to remember, at this moment, the death warrant has been issued for the 22nd of January, but the legal procedure does allow them to sort of shift the date further back so that they can comply, these convicts can be given access to the remaining legal rights.
All right.
Back to you.
Okay, thank you, Anisha, for joining us. So, in all, let me encapsulate this for our viewers. Yes, the Delhi High Court has given a date on the black warrant or the death warrant, but will all 4 be executed on that date? Well, that's not quite sure yet, because all legal proceedings need to be wrapped up before that. Meanwhile, let's listen into other political opinion coming in.
दिल्ली की जनता, निर्भया के माता पिता, सभी लोग बड़ी बेसब्री से इंतजार कर रहे थे कि जिन लोगों ने गलत काम किया निर्भया के साथ, उनको कड़ी से कड़ी और फांसी दी जाए। आज दिल्ली के लोगों की बहुत बड़ी ये ख्वाहिश पूरी हुई है, और मैं समझता हूं कि इससे बाकी लोग सबक लेंगे। जो लोग भी महिलाओं के साथ छेड़खानी करते हैं, महिलाओं के साथ गलत काम करते हैं, उन्हें सबक मिलेगा कि थोड़ी देर सही, लेकिन उनको बख्शा नहीं जाएगा। कानून जब अपना काम करता है तो उनको भी सख्त से सख्त सजा मिलेगी।
पूरे देश के लोग इस बात को लेकर बहुत शिद्दत से इंतजार कर रहे थे, क्योंकि ये निर्भया बलात्कार कांड एक इस तरह का कांड था जिससे पूरा देश हिल गया था। और उसके बाद से सिर्फ इसलिए नहीं कि लोगों को, और उसके बाद और कांड हुए बहुत सारे, हर जगह लोगों को इंतजार रहता था कि जब उसमें ही फांसी नहीं लगी तो और क्या हम उम्मीद करें। आज सब लोगों ने जो उस मामले में इस बात का इंतजार कर रहे थे कि न्याय कानून का राज स्थापित हो, आज न्याय कानून की जीत हुई है, राज स्थापित हुआ है, उसमें समय लगा।
बहुत सालों से राह देख रहा था जनता ये कोर्ट के जजमेंट के लिए। आज जजमेंट, फाइनल जजमेंट सुनाए और मेरे ख्याल से सिर्फ कुछ लोगों को फांसी देना ये सज़ा का मतलब नहीं है। ये सज़ा के द्वारा कोर्ट ने ये बताया देश में आने वाले दिन में महिलाओं के ऊपर अत्याचार ना होना चाहिए, अत्याचार बिल्कुल जीरो टॉलरेंस के साथ काम करना चाहिए। देश के जनता को आज कोर्ट न्यायस्थान यही बता चुका है।
Nirbhaya's verdict would be a deterrent to all offenders who seek to commit sexual crimes and attack the honor of our India's daughters and India's girls. However, the law and order machinery continues in a fashion which leaves much to be desired.
तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने ऑर्डर कर दिया था कि इन जल्लादों को फांसी की सजा दे दो, लेकिन फिर भी फांसी की सजा नहीं हो रही थी। अब जाकर इस देश में निर्भया के कातिलों को फाइनली फांसी की सजा दी जाएगी। आंदोलन की भी बहुत बड़ी जीत मानती हूँ, हर देश के निवासी की मैं कहीं ना कहीं इसको एक जीत मानती हूँ, क्योंकि जब निर्भया के साथ बलात्कार हुआ था पूरा देश सड़कों पे आया था। मैं उस माँ के जज्बे को सलाम करती हूँ जिसने 7 साल तक उम्मीद नहीं छोड़ी और हर दिन हर मिनट लड़ती रही अपनी बेटी के न्याय के लिए। जज का भी मैं धन्यवाद करती हूँ कि अब इतने साल बाद ही सही फाइनली उन्होंने इतना बड़ा निर्णय लिया है।
कितनों को फांसी करोगे, कितनों को मारोगे, कितनों को फांसी दोगे? प्रॉब्लम कहीं और है। उस नींव को निकालना जरूरी है, उस जहर के उस बीज को निकालना जरूरी है। ठीक है, इन चारों को फांसी हो गई है और निर्भया के फैमिली मेंबर्स को और बाकी उसके उनको तो एक सांत्वना मिली है, जस्टिस मिली है। ठीक है, ये तो जस्टिस की बात तो हुई क्योंकि उन्होंने इतना घिनौना काम किया था कि अब सबकी मर्जी थी कि उनको ऐसा ही कुछ पनिशमेंट हो। लेकिन क्या इससे वायलेंट क्राइम्स के इंसिडेंट्स कम हो रहे हैं?
All right, let's listen in to Neeraj Kumar, who was Commissioner of Delhi Police at the time when Nirbhaya case happened. He spoke to India Today. Listen in to what he said.
For us, it is a matter of great satisfaction that we have come to this day when the final verdict has been pronounced. It is a vindication of all the hard work and the proficient investigation that was done by us. So it is a day of great satisfaction for us. This entire saga is that our justice delivery system has to be hastened. And I do feel as a police officer that measures can be taken to reduce this entire waiting period by less than half.
All right, let's cut across to our studio guests. I have in the studio with me clinical and social analyst Dr. Jayanti Datta, while R.K. Gaur, senior criminal lawyer, joins me. Mr. Datta, let me begin with you. You know, there is a sense of relief and there is a sense of possible semi-closure that, the rapists, murderers of Nirbhaya would now definitely hang sooner than later. But it's also a sad documentary on the 7 years that it has taken.
Mind you, this in spite of the fact that earlier High Court had given a verdict for capital punishment, Supreme Court had given the verdict for capital punishment, and I think from every nook and corner, all the public, even the whole lot of citizens had taken to the street, and this kind of heinous crime probably Delhi witnessed long back during Billa Ranga case. There also the public had sent a very strong outcry that they should be hanged. My trouble is, as a criminal psychologist, I'm attached to this. I've been teaching the professionals for the last 42 years. I know that these are the rapists, Everybody cannot rape. They are recidivists. Once a rapist given a chance, the person will again rape. The thing is, you have to send a message to the society that we are not going to tolerate this. Because, see, if you look at the records, look at the statistics, the rapes had increased manifold after, you know, these kind of incidents happened. A 4-month-old child is not spared, 80-year-old lady is not spared. What kind of society are we living? I agree that, you know, only death penalty might not really solve the problem, but it is definitely the one of the very crucial steps towards rectifying this kind of mindset. And here I keep my fingers crossed, because the day this incident happened, from that day onwards, I've been almost in all the channels, I've been interacting with the mother, Asha Devi, and I've been asking for this kind of punishment, so that you give a message to the perpetrators that if you have indulged in this kind of a violent crime, you would definitely face the news. Of course, I'm disappointed about the fact that in spite of fast-track court, in spite of all our efforts, in spite of proven guilty, they have not been hanged till now. And hats off to Asha Devi that she could, you know, persistently be at it. And I think I owe the whole thing, the credit to the media. Media has played a very significant role in booking them to the this thing, you know, these people should not be spared. And I personally feel our laws are there, our fast-track courts are there, but unfortunately they are more perpetrator friendly than the victim friendly. Because if you give them the human rights aspect, what happened to Nirbhaya, why are you denying her rights? I think, you know, it's time when, with this kind of rape incidences going up in our country, we should definitely reconsider whom we are going to book and whom we are not going to book. I don't believe that a juvenile should be spared in this kind of a heinous crime just because the chronological age doesn't fit into the bill. I feel that, you know, if you have committed an adult crime, you should be dealt with like any other foreign countries in the adult court. And the punishment should be dealt with and delivered within a stipulated short time. In spite of fast-track court, in spite of High Court, in spite of Supreme Court, if you're taking 7 years, it's not justice.
All right, I want to cut across to R.K. Gaur as well, senior criminal lawyer. Mr. Gaur, take us through the chronology of events that we're going to witness till the 22nd of January. 22nd is the date of execution. The death warrant needs to be executed then. However, there are a lot of other legal proceedings that could be exercised by all four, which is a curative petition, mercy petition. Do you think, you know, what we have seen and how the case has progressed till now, that 22nd of January will be D-Day of execution, or in all probability that would be pushed forward?
That will be the D-Day. Because in review petition's judgment, Supreme Court made it so clear that there is no anomaly in the earlier judgment, the final judgment of Supreme Court, which was pronounced on 5th of May 2017. And once the review petition is dismissed, on facts, on law, then there is nothing which can be revived, which can be pleaded anymore in a curative petition. So these persons are going to be hanged. They have no, they may find whatever they may find. They may go with the curative petition, but if we look at the last judgment of Supreme Court, which was there in December 2019, which was filed by Mukesh, Supreme Court was very clear that they need to be hanged, and nothing changes the view of the Supreme Court on law, on marriage. I am disagreeing. However, I am disagreeing with Mrs. Datta's.
No, Mr. Gaur, I want to ask you one legal question first. I know you want to make a comment on what was said by other panelists, but I want to ask you one legal question first, and that is, you're saying, going by all standards of the Supreme Court, the D-Day would be the 22nd of January. But having said that, there's not just a curative petition which will be in the Supreme Court, but sir, also a mercy petition which will go all the way to the President. Now, will the President also make sure that he rejects these mercy petitions, because that is what is expected? He's made that comment on air as well.
Thank you
but
so much for talking to us.
could you get us up to speed with that?
Television.
Our President of India is very active. He has signed various bills. He has turned several bills into act during the night hours. He has acted so far in Maharashtra Assembly case. I expect and I have sincere hopes that he'll do the justice not only to Nirbhaya and his family. This would be justice to thousands of the victims who are looking, who are hoping, who have all the hopes that the justice would be given to Nirbhaya and people alike.
You know, Mr. Gorstay, with me, it's an interesting analogy that you make that the president has acted quite speedily, and you gave the example of what happened in Maharashtra, where at 5 a.m. he gave, the go-ahead for the swearing in of the BJP government alongside, of course, Ajit Pawar. So let's hope he exercises the similar alacrity this time as well, because this time it's only for the good, and a lot of people looking forward to that.
For rendering the justice.
Yes, it's for rendering justice. But do stay on with me, both of you. It's been about a 7-year-long wait before Nirbhaya's culprits have been handed the black warrant or the death warrant. Here is a timeline of how the Nirbhaya case unfolded through these years.
December 16, 2012. 6 men, including a juvenile, gang raped a 23-year-old student in a moving bus in the national capital. December 17, 2012. The incident shook the conscience of the nation, and activists and students took to streets in protest, while the victim battled for her life in a Delhi hospital. December 18 to 23rd, 2012. Over the next week, the Delhi police arrested the 6 rape accused, but the protest spread from the capital to the cities across the country. On December 27, 2012, the UPA government airlifted the victim from Delhi to a Singapore hospital as her condition continued to deteriorate. 2 days later, on December 29, 2012, the girl breathed her last in the Singapore hospital. While protest against the gang rape continued unabated, on January 3, 2013, 5 accused were formally charged with rape and murder. 5 days later, a special panel ruled that the teenager accused would be tried as a juvenile in a separate court. The trial against the 5 accused continued in the fast-track court. On March 11, 2013, the main accused, Ram Singh, committed suicide in his cell in Tihar jail. 5 months later, the juvenile accused was sentenced to 3 years at a reform home. And soon after, the remaining 4 accused were sentenced to death by additional sessions judge. The trial court verdict was later upheld by the Delhi High Court. But the Supreme Court stayed execution of the accused over allegations of a denial of fair trial. While the legal fight for justice to Nirbhaya continued, the minor accused walked free after 3 years in a juvenile home. Bureau Report, India Today.
Let's cut across back to our guest, Dr. Jayanti. You've practically, seen through the 7 years. You say you've been even, you've been interacting with the family of Nirbhaya as well. It is sad, but how do you make this a test case? This was supposed to be a test case. It's actually proven to be otherwise of the 7-year-long wait.
Yes, that's what is very, very shocking and very disheartening, where the outcry of the public was so loud. Even at the international forums, this was discussed. And, you had your honorable courts coming to the judgment that, yes, this is one of the very heinous kind of a crime, rare of the rarest, and the perpetrators deserve the capital punishment. There you are hesitant. Obviously, your statistics shows, I had said it in your channel in Aaj Tak, that if you are not able to come forward with a very severe deterrent punishment, very soon Delhi will see this would become a capital, rape capital. Now we do have the cases, going up almost in a regular fashion. There is no fear. And what you want through the punishment is to give a message to the perpetrators that we would not take this kind of heinous crime anymore. We would have a zero tolerance. You see, ours is a country where I feel we've been able to eradicate polio? Why are we not able to eradicate rape? And that is somewhere, some lacuna is there. In spite of your fast track court, in spite of everything, if it takes 7 years and with this kind of diligent fighting by the mother of the victim, I think it's pathetic. It's time we should come up and say, yes, we mean business. We will not have this. And as I said, I'll keep my fingers crossed that yes, it should not go beyond 22nd of January. Because if you let go of this and if you convert it into, life imprisonment, my fear is you are not giving that kind of a fear to the perpetrator's heart. The psyche of the criminal, these kind of criminals is a very short span oriented. Okay. They would understand what gives them pleasure and they would understand what is dangerous for them. They don't have the capacity, they don't have that superego, to think that if I do this, this would be the repercussions. They cannot view their long-term planning, So that's why they don't hesitate to commit this kind of crimes. And if you have ever handled a rape victim of 4 years old, you would agree with me that it's time we should come up really with a very severe deterrent punishment.
Well, I completely get that. Severe deterrent punishment is something that has been asked for. It's not that we don't have the laws, it's about execution of laws as well. What about the Nirbhaya fund, which is still completely lying wasted? We're going to continue to keep the spotlight on this story. 22nd is the day of hanging for the murderers and the rapists of Nirbhaya.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you will love to.